Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and we are syndicated worldwide on another TV station. Guess what that one is? They're found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We are so proud to be part of that. Oh, and check out the podcast. And the podcast address, find it on the internet, netnewsnetwork.net. There's a lot of nets in there, AP.
That sure is. Yeah.
Network.net. And it's really easy to remember because of that. So anyway, we appreciate Abundant Television. It's just really been awesome too. So Rob Patz, thank you so much for continuing to let us be a part of your big television station. We appreciate that. I have a special friend with me right now. His name is AP Steadham, and up in this neck of the woods and basically all over Abundant Television as well, he's everybody's sports guy. So AP is good to be with you. He's a sports guy, sports analyst. He also has his own talk show, and AP and Kelly. And so we're proud to have you on the show today. How's everything going?
Hey, good, Donna. Good. So glad to be on the show. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the football. We have a lot of spring games that happened, so people are getting excited, just getting a sniff of the grass and the footballs flying through the air on Saturdays. So some of these spring football games. So yeah, we're approaching that time of year, right before the summer starts and the weather's getting better, hopefully, everywhere. And the football players. Donna, when we first spoke about the transfer portal, I mean, that's been pretty important to a lot of football teams and coaches and players alike and fans. They had it scheduled for May 1st through May 15th. Well, they decided to make a change in March, relatively not very long ago. It's April 15th. It's already started.
Oh, wow.
So it's April 15th through the 30th, I believe. So they changed it. They moved it up. So, I mean, they're players that are actually participating in their spring game and announcing on the 15th, the same day as the game, that they're transferring. So that's kind of
why did it move up? Why did they move it up like that?
Yeah, Don, I'm not really sure why they didn't. I'm thinking that May 1st was a good deadline or good time to start because you want to let the spring games happen, and most of them will be completed by the end of April. But they just moved it. The committee came up with that notion, and so it kind of happened very fast because we had been talking about May 1st for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what's going to be, are there going to be any new trends happening in football this year?
Yeah, Donna, I'm thinking that it's going to be pretty much the same, I believe. Though probably, I think there's some rule changes with the time. When you have a first down, usually the clock stops. So they're going through some changes with that clock to speed up the game. That's going to be a slight change. Yeah, that's a slight change, Donna, where they're speeding up the game and condensing the time it takes to compete one football game. So that's a little bit of a change. But I think essentially the offenses and the defenses, special team, will be pretty much the same. I think that that trend, it's been a trend for let's say the last, let's say 5 years, that people like that dual threat quarterback. They like the quarterback they can run as well as throw the football. Me personally, because if you're playing against a top team and it's really going back and forth, I want the quarterback that's in the pocket the last 2 minutes can complete a pass. I mean, that's still important to me if I have a quarterback. That's my preference. But we all know that it's exciting to see the quarterback run, but it's a quarterback-centric era of football, really, Donna. Because if you don't have a quarterback that is above average, then probably your team is going to be below average. That's going to happen because the ball's in their hands all the time. They're either throwing it or the quarterback's running or pitching the ball on the option to the running back or wide receiver that's in the formation in the backfield. So the quarterback is so important, and everybody's looking for the quarterback. I think one of the trends we're seeing the last few years, quarterback transfers. They're playing the spring game. They approach the coach. They have the conversation, Coach, do I have a chance? Do I have a chance to compete for this position realistically? And if the coach is honest with them and he says, well, son, I think that so-and-so is our starting quarterback. You're still second string, then you're seeing these people move to another school,
Mhm.
and it's just becoming the norm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The reason I ask you about trends is who was it who sent that? Okay, it was Trey. Trey sent a question um about the penalties. And I kind of get where he's coming from. Like you can see the camera focused right in on what really happened, but the
right.
referees kind of they tend to whatever they think they saw. That needs to be adjusted. I agree with Trey on this.
Yeah, yeah, they have the review on some of the plays done, but not every play is reviewable. So
Mhm.
the ones that are subject to interpretation, they'll take the time out, go to the sideline. They have the cameras, the video set up, and they'll review it, and they'll act accordingly. But sometimes, Donna, you're watching the replay yourself, and you're
Mhm.
thinking, well, I know what the conclusion
It's
would be for
a
this
fun
play.
view. What really
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, and sometimes I think there's an error. Even though they have the video, they're reviewing it. Sometimes I don't agree, but most of the time I do. But I know it's very difficult to call football, Donna. When we are at the SEC meetings in Destin, Florida, we meet with the head of the officials, and they'll give us a clicker, a device, and they'll play um, uh, the tackles that are really hard, where you're knocking the heads and things like that. The players are getting injured, and we have to make a decision. And even if we have all that time to review it, we still make the wrong call, because that's such a difficult call. The targeting call is so difficult because it's going fast. There's the placement of the helmet and the head if it's leading. I mean, so there's some guidelines that you have, but even with the replay, it's difficult to make the call.
Mhm. That's true. I like to watch the coaches, especially when we really saw that it really happened. And then they'll show like, Saban or somebody, and they're just having a fit out on throwing
Right.
stuff, it's going all crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have said, I don't think the coach needs to act like that. Well, I probably would if I saw the call was
Yeah.
called the wrong way.
Right. Yeah. I would think you're going to react, Donna. You're going to be animated to some degree at different levels, each coach, but some of them are not reviewable. But what you're doing, Donna, is planting the seed for the next time that occurs, because
Mhm.
you can't change the play. It's not
Yeah.
reviewable. But you're,
Uh-huh.
you're letting the official know that I think you made an error. The next time, check for this particular incident, and I want you to change your viewpoint.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
then we have safety in football, and people know better than to grab the helmet and pull it like that. But they still continue to do that. They need to be pulled out of the game when they do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're watching the people make the tackle and their hands are up by the helmet. I'm not trying to tackle somebody by the helmet. It's just not a smart move, because more than likely you are going to grab the face mask. Your hands are going to get entangled. Your fingers are going to get entangled in the helmet and the face mask. It's going to be a penalty. And if you twist the neck, a lot of it'll be 15 yards instead of the 5. Accidental is the 5 yard. 15 yards is the intentional. So yeah, you try to make the proper tackle and stay away from the helmet and the head.
I would love to be in the locker room when somebody does something like that. When they go for halftime, I bet the coach is all over it.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they're going to point these things out. That's the responsibility. You're trying to get your team to stay away from the penalties. They're so crucial in a tight ball game. So yeah, the coach is going to make reference to that play, not only to that individual but to the team. Or let's stay away from that type of penalty.
Yeah, there's so many components for a successful football team. One of those is the band and the cheerleaders and the majorettes and all of that. I mean, it makes it all work.
Yeah, most of the football coaches down there, they'll meet with the band and the cheerleaders and the cheer squads prior
Mm.
to the season. They'll give them a pep talk, just like he was speaking to his team, because he knows that that's a vital factor in the home games. The band is there, and the cheer squad, the cheerleaders. The band makes some of the away games, but not all of them. But yeah, they want to keep the pageantry, and they want to keep everything in favor when they play a home game. I mean, they want to have all the spirit with with the crowd and the band and the cheerleaders and the cheer squad, they contribute to that atmosphere. I mean, and the recruits are on campus, they'll see and hear the band and the cheerleaders and cheer squad and, the majorettes. And so this is all part of college football, the experience.
Makes it all really fun. Mary asked a question, and she said, this is pointed at you. She said, if you were playing football,
yes,
what part would you want to play?
Well, yeah, I played some football, Donna, when I was younger, and I played the quarterback position, wide receiver, and defense. I was the defensive back. So yeah, I had fun. I liked playing the game, and I didn't mind hitting. It didn't bother me. I mean, I enjoyed tackling, and I enjoyed throwing the football. I enjoyed catching the football. So those are the three areas that I chose to try to play the game.
Now, what's going on this week with your show, AP and Kelly, as we see it?
Every Friday on IC Radio, 4 p.m. Central, every Friday. Kelly, this past week, if people want to listen to the show, we had Mario Morris, who's from Decatur, Alabama, and he is the Vice President of Administration and the Chief Financial Officer at the NCAA. So he's in a very powerful and influential position. He was a former linebacker at Alabama on the 92 championship team. But this week, we're going to have Blake Topmeyer. Blake is a columnist for the USA Today covering the Southeastern Conference.
Wow.
So Blake used to be a writer for the University of Missouri team and University of Tennessee. So people are familiar with him in the Southeastern Conference. So yeah, we're going to have some discussion about the Southeastern Conference, and we look forward to our talk with Blake. He's always he knows a lot. He's interesting, and he has a great perspective. So yeah, Blake Topmeyer from the USA Today.
Absolutely. You know something, already halfway through the show, we've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. Y'all hang in there.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Check out the podcast right down there, netnewsnetwork.net. That's a bunch of nets, I'm telling you. So be going to check it out. You know, AP, there's a lot of really good talk show hosts who are on that network. So anyway, go check it out. I think you're going to like what you see. I don't know if you know who Diamond and Silk are. Diamond and Silk. Diamond actually passed away, so Silk has taken the show up. And so she was on the show last week. So everybody go check out that podcast. I think you'll really enjoy it. I'm going to tell you what, those girls are really animated. They're all over it. So check it out. So AP, we've been talking about football. We're all excited. Can't wait. I mean, it's just, it's the anticipation. So I know you probably haven't had time, or really not enough activity to make the top five yet. If you had
Right.
the top five, who would you say the top five?
Donna, we're trying to look at the teams across the SEC and the country. I think you always have to consider Georgia now because of the talent that's recruited there year to year. And we know that Kirby Smart and his staff are able to develop and recruit the players. So, in that conversation, Alabama, I think you're looking at LSU, Brian Kelly. I think that's a team, they won the SEC Western Division his very first year in the league. I think that Tennessee is a team that is getting better every year. They're trying to improve defensively, and they had their scrimmage on Saturday, and Joe Milton, he was the returning quarterback. He ended up starting after Hendon Hooker got injured at the end of the season. But Joe started a couple of years ago, transferred from Michigan. And then they have the freshman from California, Nico Amaleva. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So he's very good. Yeah, it's difficult to pronounce. So, and then you're going to look at the Ohio State. They're looking for a new quarterback, but they have the talent like Georgia recruiting across the country. They have exceptional skill players most of the time at wide receiver in the quarterback positions. I think you're looking at USC. They're trying to get better defensively. I watched them a little bit on Saturday. They had their spring game. Texas is trying to get back into the top 10 on an annual basis because they're a school with a lot of resources, and they'll tell you all the time, we have the resources, but they are a school that has not used their resources to full capacity historically. They have some good talent this year. So I think Texas, I'm thinking Clemson, that they have to revamp things from last season. They were upset by South Carolina, lost the bowl game to Tennessee. So, Michigan's a team. You have to discuss them, of course, with Jim Harbaugh. He's building that program steadily year to year. I'm trying to think of one other team that I think is in that discussion. I think that's the team for me in the discussion. I'm just looking at the different conferences. And of course, Notre Dame, the coach is in his second year now. So they have good talent. Maybe not the top talent, but they have very good talent. So I'll say a couple teams from the Big Ten, Texas, let's say from the Big 12, Notre Dame as an independent. You look at maybe in Oregon out west as well. Bo Nix is back for another year. I think he could be a strong Heisman candidate if things work out well. And of course, in the SEC, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and as I said, Clemson in the ACC. So I would think those are the teams that people are going to look at. Outside chance that they have to, beat Michigan and Ohio State or beat one of them to be in the conversation. But I think those are some of the top teams that we can expect to challenge to be in the college football playoff, which is in the last year. I think is this the last year of just the 4 teams, and they move to the 12 in the coming years. Yeah.
How would you gauge the coach at Auburn? Is he making any headways?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze, he's going to do a good job with his quarterbacks. He's always been a person that has been able to set up his system where the quarterback has a limited amount of choices and improves on the completion percentage. So I think he'll do a good job there. He's trying to improve that offensive line. That's been something that Auburn's been lacking because the quarterbacks haven't run for their life for a number of years now. So he's trying to improve that offensive line. He's trying to get the quarterbacks to play with consistency and be more accurate with their throws. And I would say Auburn, they're looking for a quarterback in the transfer portal. If they find one, they're going to ask him to come to Auburn. I know that's on the agenda for Hugh Freeze. So, but Auburn is kind of a wild card this year, down the first year for Hugh Freeze. And he needs to get that offense cranked up to have a chance, because it's an era of football. It's centered around the offense primarily. People are scoring a lot of points.
Well, this is crucial. If they don't make it this year, what do you think will happen? They're going to look for another coach. They'll continually look for coaches there.
Yeah, no, they'll give him a chance. He'll have his 2 and 3 years to get things moving in the right direction. He will.
Yeah. He needs to be a Superman, though. I mean, he really needs to, because I'm
Yeah.
always going to be an Auburn fan, always, no matter what. You got to be with them through the good times and the bad times as well.
Yeah, Auburn's in between Alabama to the west and Georgia to the east, and they play those teams every year. So that makes it crucial for him to be very competitive.
Well, Chris sent a message, but he did say, chuckle, chuckle. Is Saban staying in Alabama? Yes, Chris.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not going in. This year he'll be 72 on Halloween. Him and Mac Brown from North Carolina, they'll both be 72 this year.
Some people just carry it well, though. And I think it's because of their drive and their ambition, and he has probably worked just about his entire life.
Right, yeah, they don't know any other way. They're very active and, get up early and have some tremendous energy. Yeah, and they have endurance.
I think that probably carries on over into because you actually guide by example. And I think that the players see that. And that's probably another reason they have such a successful team.
Yeah, Donna, tell them I'll take a chocolate milkshake.
The chocolate milkshake will do, absolutely. Hey, let me tell Phil something. Phil, get my phone call Lowe's. So it's one of my sponsors, but we're actually waiting on a big shipment of stuff to come here to the farm. So I'm sorry about that. But anyway, that was Lowe's calling. So, oh wow, football, it's just in the air, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, Donna, the springtime, you're experimenting with your team. Maybe you're trying to look at someone playing another position. You're trying to create depth across the offense, the defense, the special team. You're implementing the system with the younger players. They arrived in January, some of them. You're waiting on, maybe a junior college transfer came in, maybe a transfer came in. So there's some new people that are learning your system. So it's a time where you're teaching quite a bit as a coach.
Well, you're in the unique position where you get to see things before we all get to see it. Is there a new player out on any team somewhere on the horizon that you've got an eye out for?
Yeah. Well, when you look across the conference down in the SEC, you're trying to figure out who is going to be the starting quarterback. I mean, that's because it's so important. So when you have that big battle at Auburn, at Georgia, you have the quarterback battle at Ole Miss. They have three quarterbacks. They had a starting quarterback, Jackson Dart from USC, but they brought in two other quarterbacks, Walker Howard from LSU and Sanders from Oklahoma State. So that's three quarterbacks, not two, three at Ole Miss. Then you're looking at some of the other schools. Wisconsin had the transfer. Florida had the transfer from Wisconsin. So in South Carolina, you're wondering, can Spencer Rattler, the transfer from Oklahoma, who was a Heisman favorite, believe it or not, the year before at Oklahoma, can he have a dynamic season and help the Gamecocks make some improvement in the win column this year? They need some help on the defensive side, but can Spencer Rattler, in the second year of Shane Beamer's excel? So yeah, I'm just looking at these quarterbacks, Donna, because it's so important in the one loss column. Because if your quarterback's not playing well, then you're struggling. You're struggling.
Absolutely. Nick made a suggestion not a suggestion. He made a comment. He said that he's been watching us for a long time, and he has noticed we always say something about the kicker, and he says he agrees. So sometimes the kicker saves the day.
Yeah. As we approach the season, Donna, I'm going to have to go through all the kickers in the league. Who's returning? Who's a new kicker? Because as you said, it's so competitive in the Southeastern Conference. You're going to have some games where it gets down to the kicker. We saw in that Tennessee game where Alabama's kicker missed the field goal. Tennessee's kicker made the field goal. That was the difference in the game. 52 to 49. So you're exactly correct with your assessment of the kicker can make a difference.
Thanks, Nick. And thanks for watching for a long time. We definitely appreciate that. AP, less than a minute left in this segment. What do you want to tell folks before you go?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that get ready for football season. I know people are looking at the games that they would like to attend. We're going to be talking about some of those in the coming months. I know an interesting game for the Auburn people. First time ever playing at the University of California. That'd be a great trip for somebody. They've never been to California. You get to see your team. You get to see Northern California up by San Francisco and Oakland and Berkeley. So and then Texas visits Alabama, first time in about 100 years. That's on the same weekend, September 9th, the second weekend. So there's some really interesting non-conference games. LSU travels to Orlando to play Florida State. So, get those trips ready because the hotels fill up and you want to have a place to stay and enjoy these away games with your team.
Nobody wants to sleep in their car. You don't want to do that.
No.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Can't wait to see you on Friday, Football Friday at 4, AP and Kelly as we see it. Thank you again. Hope you have a great, great week.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Football Fridays at 4.
There you go. Okay, folks, we're going to see you a little bit later with another awesome guest like AP. We'll be back shortly.